Today we're going to talk about Facebook advertising and how it's perceived to have a massive problem, but my argument is the problem is us as agencies and brands not targeting properly. So a lot's written at the moment about how Facebook's advertising platform is failing, mainly because there's a lot of irrelevant ads. People don't like ads. Fact, no one likes to see advertising. A lot of the time, it gets in the way of the user experience. They're trying to talk to their friends and family, but people accept, I think, or are beginning to accept that on Facebook there needs to be a certain level of advertising to keep the platform free. Ultimately, Mark Zuckerberg's not running a charity over there. He's got to make money for his investors. So Facebook has to have advertising, and it's going to increase, and people need to accept that. But when people have a problem with advertising, it's often because it's completely irrelevant to them, and that is frustrating. I would rather, on Facebook, we're giving up a lot of our personal data already, and that can be used by advertisers, and I'd like to see it used more so that I personally as a user get more targeted advertising, because advertising that's more relevant to me is going to be more interesting. I'm more likely to click on it. Those brands that are advertising are more likely to get a return on investment from me if they target properly. So Facebook has given us, the most sophisticated targeting platform probably ever seen. The amount of data shared by users is unprecedented, and most of it is available to advertisers. Facebook's platform to get access to that data has been sketchy in the past. They've made it a lot cleaner, a lot simpler in recent times. But the fundamental problem, in my opinion, is a lack of education or a lack of effort a lot of the time on behalf of some agencies and some brands. So Facebook has given us the tools to acquire new fans, engage users, and to create brand advocates and generate conversations and conversions, ultimately. But we have to be sophisticated in our approach to make it work. It's not the case of just targeting as many people as possible and hoping something sticks, which is what a lot of agencies are doing. Particularly from my experience, it may not be true, but from my experience, particularly traditional agencies who are more from a large reach, TV ad or print ad type background. But how can a lot of people will just target based on gender or just on age, and that's you get so much wasted there. Even targeting based on the simple fact that they know someone likes a certain brand, it's just there's a lot of impressions wasted. How can you justify targeting someone based solely on their demographic when so much more information is available? That's the point, and it's just a little bit of effort to make that happen. So if I look on my Facebook, I'll get some targeted ads. So I've got some tech-related business ads, it's relevant to me. I also get, the worst one I think I've ever seen is one from Sky, the TV service advertising a specific offer purely for the northeast of England. I live quite a long way from that area, and I'm already a Sky customer, so on two counts I should not be seeing that ad. It's just a complete waste. All I can think of is that they're not targeting by geography, they're not bringing in their current client base to exclude them, they're just blanketing. So it's unrealistic to think that every ad should have 100% relevance in terms of impressions served. That can't happen. It'd be lovely, but it's not quite possible. And there's always people who have liked things for inauthentic reasons or where things are no longer relevant. So, for example, someone might like a page related to pregnancy. That's a time thing. Obviously, you've got 9 months on that, and that interest may expire. So some interest targeting isn't always going to be 100% relevant. You're always going to get a bit of wastage, but it's our job as advertisers to reduce that and optimize as much as possible. One of my biggest bugbears is the use of sponsored stories. So they can be massively effective, but using it alone, so sponsored stories, for those who aren't aware, is targeting friends of fans, basically. So you say, I've got 10,000 people who like my page, I want to target everyone who is friends with them. If you do using that's great, but using it alone is not enough. So you need to be using numerous variants and combining targeting types for the best results. So, for example, if you're just using sponsored stories and saying, say I'm Nike, I target everyone who is a friend of my fans. But my key demographic is the younger age group, for example. I'm targeting. They might be friends with their grandparents. It's completely irrelevant to them potentially. And there's a lot of examples of that where that goes on, and there's just a lot of wasted impressions. Sponsored stories are great, particularly for targeting younger age groups where you've got a specific goal, but again, you have to combine it. So combine it with precise interests or custom audiences to make sure they're relevant still. So, for example, targeting say I'm a fashion brand, targeting the friends of my connections who are female within the target age range who like other relevant fashion brands as well, such as competitors, will get me a much better click-through and conversion rate from a click to a like or through to my website. There are numerous options available on the Facebook advertising platform. There's a lot out there. There's custom audiences, there's demographics, there's precise interests, there's broad categories. It's best to test them all, to be honest, and test lots of different combinations. So it's easy to go, I want to target those people done. You want to set as many options as you can and find out what really does work. But ultimately, social advertising is a field where few people have a wealth of experience. So big agencies tend to lead the Facebook advertising to their display or PPC ad teams without fully appreciating the differences, the nuances of the platform. A lot of the time it is a low percentage relatively in an overall ad spend, especially in a massive budget campaign. In these scenarios, I suggest either outsourcing to agencies such as Datify. Obviously, we've built millions of fans targeted and relevant for our brands over the years. Or upskilling your own teams, or hiring specialist talent. Social advertising can make a huge difference to brands, but needs to be managed in a slightly different way to other channels. So advertising on Facebook is all about the data, from who you should target and how, all the way through to optimizing for various different goals. Meaning you may need a more data-led team for your campaigns than you would normally use. But the key things are to use the full range of Facebook's targeting options, cross-segment, use them together is the key. So don't be afraid to experiment with Facebook Exchange, custom audiences, lookalike audiences, precise interest targeting. We'll go through these at a different time as to what they all are. But if you are a big brand or a big agency, if you're going to spend big on Facebook, make sure you've got the right people in place, make sure you know what you're doing, make sure you have a set plan, and make sure you test and learn everything. This is a data game and is very different to most other online advertising options. There's a massive data out there, but you need to make it work for you rather than just guessing and hoping. Thanks.